Chu, what is happening? Welcome back to another episode of the Savant Life. And on today's episode, we're going to take a look at all of the speculation surrounding the all-new KTM Duke 390. It all started a few months back when a spy shot of the bike testing in Europe was released, and then a few designers came up with renderings of what the finished product might look like. And even though those images were great, people held on to their horses because there is oftentimes many a slip between the cup and the lip. So there was no real way of us figuring out how this was all going to play out on the ground, and the build-up had been going on for quite some time. Until a couple of weeks back when the bike was finally spotted testing in India, and rumors have been flying in thick and fast about its performance, about its specifications, how the bike is going to look, and so on and so forth. So I decided to take what we have learned so far from reliable sources and put it all together in one quick snappy video so that you're up to speed about what to expect from the KTM 390 come 2017. Before we talk about the design and the look and the feel of the bike, which is what I love talking about the most, let's go ahead and figure out 4 major updates that you can expect from the 2017 KTM Duke. Update number 1. The new bike is supposed to come with an all-new TFT LCD full-color instrument cluster. Yes, let me say that for emphasis once again. A 300cc bike in India is now going to have a TFT LCD full-color instrument cluster. Now this is definitely a big deal because I don't think any bike in the 300cc segment in India has an instrument cluster even remotely close to that. And even though this is not going to be a game changer of any kind, this just shows how KTM is willing to go the extra mile in order to make sure that it leaves its fans thoroughly impressed. Update number 2, keeping in line with the theme of technological advancements, the bike is expected to have Bluetooth connectivity, which essentially means that you can sync up your smartphones and all of its GPS data will appear on the instrument cluster that I was just talking about. And this is what the new bikes are all about. They're about these technological advancements that ensure you have the best rider experience that you can possibly get. Update number 3. This is going to be one of the very few, if not the only 300cc bike in India to have 3 different riding modes that users can choose from. And even though there is no official word about what these 3 riding modes are going to be, it's pretty safe to assume that you will be able to choose between a city mode, a track mode, and probably a safety mode. Again, this is something that is fairly novel, and big props to KTM for bringing this out. And finally, update number 4. The bike is going to come with an all-new fork system in the front, which means that one of the forks will be responsible for damping and the other fork will be responsible for the rebound. Now this sounds great on paper, but we'll actually have to ride the bike ourselves to see how this will translate to on-the-road performance. But again, given the condition of Indian roads, I definitely think that this is a welcome addition. Okay, so now that we've talked about the 4 major upgrades that the bike is going to get, let's get to my favorite part, which is the design and the looks of the bike. Although the images available so far are obviously ones with the mule stickering, you can still make out that this bike is extremely impressive when it comes to its looks. It's sharp, it's sleek, it's contemporary looking, and it definitely comes across every inch like a street fighter. And for some reason it makes me think of an orange shark, which is probably not a bad thing. It's pretty evident that KTM has spent a lot of time and effort into the design of the fuel tank, the fairing, and especially the headlight. And it doesn't really take a genius to realize that the design of the bike is heavily inspired from the flagship product of the KTM stable, the Super Duke 1290. And that is a cause for celebration. On a related note, KTM is also supposed to be working on an adventure tourer very soon. If reports are to be believed, the bike is already undergoing ARAI testing and it is expected to be launched in India sometime in June or July 2017. Based on the images available online, this is what the bike is supposed to look like. I'm not really a huge fan of the way this bike looks or the fact that KTM is even messing around with an adventure tourer, because when I think of KTM, I think of wild, uncontrolled performance, and a tourer definitely does not go along with that image. But then again, if there is a demand for that bike in the market and people are willing to fork out their hard-earned money, then more power to KTM. Anyways, coming back to the Duke 390, the bike is supposed to be showcased at the EICMA event in Milan in the month of November. KTM is going to be bringing this bike out under the bright lights with a lot of fanfare, and I for one cannot wait. And if everything goes well, they are expecting to launch this bike in India sometime by February or March of 2017. I personally am super excited about this launch because I've been thinking of upgrading my bike eventually, and even though I was not really thinking about KTM, this definitely pushes me in that direction, and I'm gonna have to start thinking about it very seriously. If any of you guys were thinking about buying a KTM Duke in the next 1 or 2 months, then I would highly recommend that you wait, because I think the 2017 lineup of bikes are going to be next level. They're going to disrupt the market just like they did way back in 2010. But then again, be warned, I don't think this is going to be at the same price that they have right now. All of these features and all of the performance is definitely going to come with a higher price tag. On the other hand, if you're someone who needs to buy the bike urgently, and if you're a little sensitive about the price, then I would encourage you to go ahead and take full advantage of the discounts that KTM is very likely to have in the next 2 or 3 months in order to get rid of their old stock. So there you have it, guys. That's my quick video about the KTM 390. I hope you guys liked it and found it useful. If you did, then go ahead and hit that like button and show me some love. If you have any questions, then drop them in the comment section below, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And if you have any friends who are interested in the KTM 390, then share the video with them and bring a smile to their face. And if you haven't already, then do hit that subscribe button, because it only takes a second. I will see you the next time around. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and ride safe.